Today we are talking to the amazing Vanessa Jane from the Confident Women's Collective. So for all of you women out there who want to hear a bit of a vulnerable story about some of the things that we go through before these amazing ideas to launch a business, this is the story for you. So welcome, Vanessa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mel, for having me.
No problem. So today I really want to touch on, some of the things that maybe aren't so fabulous, right, in the world of being mums and being businesswomen, but also how we can overcome those things when we expand our mind and what's possible. And, you're a testament to that. So Vanessa and I actually met on a plane, which was crazy because I think we've been in contact every week since, and watching you flourish and watching you birth all of these amazing ideas and businesses is phenomenal to watch. So congratulations on that. So give us a little bit of a rundown. Who is Vanessa and what did life look like maybe back when we met, or maybe it was a little bit prior? What did life look like for you?
Okay, so thanks, Mel. Where do I even start? So I'm a counsellor and have been counselling in a private practice of my own business for over 15 years. And I did start counselling because my first marriage had fallen apart. And so I actually went to counselling to kind of help get the healing. And through that, I realised that I actually have a passion for it. And I just had a knack. I was always one of those people that everyone came to talk to. Oh, you're so understanding. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's great. I need to get paid for this. So that's kind of how I stepped into the counselling. And I also was a single mum. I just moved interstate. So I was living in New South Wales at the time and I moved into Queensland. And I was a single mum with a 3-year-old. I just built a house that literally got the keys, and 2 weeks later my marriage fell apart. So I was in this position of, what do I do? How do I raise this child? How can I do all of this with no support system? And that was another reason why I went into business for myself, because it was like, I've got to build my life and earn income around my kids. And I did that. On a personal level, what I found was there was always something missing. And even though I moved through and I actually ended up getting remarried and having another child, I probably hit rock bottom. It will be 3 years ago this coming July, when my beautiful mum passed away. And at the same time, my marriage ended. And I also was forced to sell our family home and having to start from scratch again.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
So do you believe in that moment, the universe, now you look back on it, do you believe in that moment that was your test?
Yeah, it was like I had to dig. I mean, I had dug in deep before, but I had to really dig in deep. I was like, when I met you on that plane, that was just before my mum passed, but my marriage was ending. We were in the position of, we were in the process of selling the house, and I was just breathing. I wouldn't even say I was existing in life. I was just breathing. And I was so unhappy with me, with my life. My business just kept stalwarting. I just couldn't seem to get it moving. And I just kind of knew something had to change. And in the 15 years of doing all that counselling, there was always something that was missing in me anyway. And I just could never, I've done workshops and you name it, I've done. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I am a meditation practitioner. I've done my advanced diplomas in counselling and relationships and parenting. But there was always just, I kept striving for more or searching for more. And that's when I came across Mace. So when I was at rock bottom 3 years ago, and I was in a position where I was so overwhelmed with life and grief, I couldn't even make decisions. And now you were keeping my business, just keeping it afloat for me while I was trying to do the inner work.
Yeah.
Because you can't grow your business unless you grow yourself. Your business will only be as self-worth as you are. And so I knew I had to do some serious work on me because I actually didn't want to be here. I was done.
Yeah. And I think, look, and thank you for admitting that, because, there's so many moments, I think, that we have these split second thoughts of, you know what, I'm fucking done. I'm done. Like, I don't have any more in the tank. And I only had one of those moments last night. I was just done.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and I don't know what came over me, but I was done. And, in that moment, we'd be lying if we said there wasn't a little bit of us that just says, fuck me dead, it'd be easier if my time was done. But I think the difference between, it being a problem is your control of mindset, is you going,
Absolutely.
well, hang on a second, this is not where I want to be. And having the tools in your tool belt to be able to then know what to do next. I think anybody that's out there acting like every fucking day is amazing is full of shit. And they're selling you this unrealistic dream. I think
absolutely
you've got to have the tools in your belt to be able to move forward, but you've also got to sometimes sit and do star angels in your shit as well. Do you agree?
Absolutely. You've got to have compassion for yourself. And it's very true. And I think I was caught up in watching these people who seemed really successful and never seemed to have shit going on. It was like, well, what's wrong with me? Why is my life so shitty when I'm doing everything that they're, I was journaling and I was, meditating and trying to watch my mindset and gratitude and all. And what I realized is none of that, it works to a point.
Yeah.
But unless you clear out the baggage that you had, that even sometimes you may not be aware that you have, you can only go so far with it.
So true.
That's
what really throws us into that healing, like the DNA healing, your ancestral healing, the stuff that we carry with us that, we don't even necessarily know that we do. So in this moment, you came across MACE, right?
Yes.
Tell us what MACE is.
So MACE is it's called the MACE energy method, and it's a process of, look, it's so simple that people go, it can't possibly work because of simplicity in it, because we have spent and we've been educated and trained that everything's got to be friggin' hard to get shit done. And if you want to change, you've got to do some really hard work, and actually you don't. You really, really don't. You've still got to do some work, absolutely, but it's not hard. And the good thing about MACE is whatever you're under the cause of, so, stress or anxiety, phobias, depression, all of these things, they're causes, they're the effects of a cause. Something created it. We weren't born like it. Children are not born depressed. They develop depression. We're not born anxious. We develop anxiety.
Yeah.
So if we can create anxiety, we can discreate it. We don't have to live with it. And that's
like music to my ears, and it's so true, isn't it? It's like, I remember reading something and it said, if you can cause this much chaos, you can cause the same amount of peace. And I just thought, holy shit, I spent the first 20 something years of my life causing chaos for myself. And it's so incredibly true that once you get to the point of being done, it's just as easy. The amount of effort you caused, or the amount of effort you put into drinking all the time and then having hangovers and being on the drugs and doing all the things, it's just as much effort to go the other way and heal your mind and meditate and do all the other things. So share with us, what that journey looked like for you. You were broken. You were literally broken. Life was on the bones of its ass. What was the next step for you?
So I liken it to as a shattered mess on the floor.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to put the pieces back together.
Yeah.
They were too shattered. There was too many of them. Yeah. And what MACE does is it's such a simple process that even after one session, you can get amazing results. And what I found was after I sort of, I worked on my grief, because that, the grief of the loss of my marriage, the grief of the loss of my mum, the grief of the loss of my, family dream home, that was a lot of grief. So I had to clean that up. once I cleaned that up, and then I just took a look at me, and it was like, I'm still not happy. I should be. I've got great children. I now have a really nice little home. I still have great clients who I do love and adore, but I still wasn't happy. And it was like, what is missing in me? And then it was like, there's that piece again that I keep missing. What I've worked out is that piece was I don't want to say disconnection, because that would mean that I have actually broken apart from it, but that's not what it is. I had found the part of me that I had lost. But the part of me that I lost as a child, and I was searching my whole adult life for.
So do you think that that's what we call passion, or your purpose?
I think it's a passion, purpose, inner happiness, and confidence. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's all encompassing. Because you can have passion and purpose, but you still need your inner confidence and inner joy, not from external stuff. Like to know that whatever life throws at me now, I've so got it, and it's unfolding so rapidly now in such a flowing way, and it's easy. Life is easy for me. I wake up happy and contented and peaceful, and it's like, it's not because what's going on in my life. Like, I've got children and business and all these things happening.
So it's
because absolutely, that is exactly what it is. I'm aligned with the true self.
So okay, you found Mace. You obviously went ahead and did it yourself, which I love, because there's so many coaches out there that are coaching shit that they're not actually doing. So I love that you put yourself, through the barbed wire first. But tell me, what happened after that? I know, it was kind of like the rebirth of you, and this is where you became a Mace energy specialist. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So I've never been one to try and teach or work with someone that I haven't actually done myself, which is why I kind of have so many tickets in my toolbox. Because, I've done the coaching, I'm an ultimate professional coach. I'm, like I said, a meditation practitioner, hypnotherapist, all of those. Because I went and did all that stuff first. I had the coaching, and I've done the hypnotherapy, and I've done the work on me, trying to find this piece that kept being like out of my reach. And so when I came across Mace and I had my first session, I felt amazing. It was so euphoric. It was like, oh my God, this is incredible. How can you feel so good after one session? And me being me, wanted to learn more. So I went and trained in it, because I thought, I want to know how to do this, because I think this is epic for my clients. So I went and did the training, and through the training, you have to be doing the work on yourself. There is no way out of it. So you're training and you're learning and you're growing and you're getting rid of all that crappy baggage that you may be aware of and maybe you're not aware of. Sometimes it can be epic, and sometimes it's really subtle, the changes that occur. And then I thought, no, you know what? I want to know more of this. So then I became an advanced practitioner, which means that I can take it even deeper. And what I find is, what Mace did for me was, it got me out of that hole that I was in, that I thought I just might as well just pull the dirt over me and just stay there for the rest of my living life. It got me out of that. It got me having better relationships with my children. I was able to help them through everything that they were going through. I have better relationships with my family, my friends. I have better relationships with my clients. I get an idea now and I can just run with it. It's almost like all my self-doubt, my low confidence, my low self-esteem and self-worth, that I'm not good enough, it's just gone. Wow. And that inner mean girl that lived with me my whole life is gone as well.
Wow.
And to live life with none of that, there's that piece.
Yeah.
And that's what Mace gave me, and that's why I'm so passionate about getting this out to everybody else through the Confident Women's Collective, because I truly believe every woman has the right to feel free and connected to their true being.
So true. And the birth of Confident Women's Collective, to watch what you've become in that time, it's so incredibly amazing to watch. And Confident Women's Collective really is, that community of like you said, finding yourself, you know, and
Yeah.
there's so many fluffy communities out there at the moment where it's just a group so somebody can grow their numbers, you know, and I think it's so great that, you know, you have this way, you have this tool that you can offer to people as well who are
Yeah.
on that healing process. So tell us, you know, now, tell me what's something now, you know, on the journey that you've been on, now that you look back, what was the biggest lesson the universe gave you?
I think the universe has given me way too many. But I think, look, I think honestly, the biggest lesson for me is not being afraid to be my own power. That would have to be the biggest lesson. You know, I think a lot of the stuff that's happened in my life, and I've had a lot, like when I reflect back, it's like, holy crap. And I've always been one of these people that just kind of pick up and keep going and, you know, just keep going, just keep going. So for me now, I look back on everything and I can see, well, I can see how some of the identities and things that I was living with that I've now discreated with Mace, how that's created some of my decisions, relationships, all of that sort of stuff, why my business hadn't grown prior to now, why I just kept hitting a wall every single time. I can see that. So yeah, the biggest lesson I think the universe has taught me is to just own it and step into my power and just be me, because well, I'm just worth it, I think.
That's a lesson that's just going to keep on giving, you know. I mean, stepping into your power is going to be, you know, across the board,
Yeah.
something that just keeps giving, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And when I say power, what I mean by that is we can be confident. So we can be confident because we know we're good at something. We can be confident. We can be falsely confident. So it's almost like we slip on this jacket and we put ourselves out there, and we can be really overt and extroverted and all of that, which is it's still a confidence in a way. When I talk about the power, I'm talking about that inner confidence, that absolute 100% certainty of self, that you've got whatever life's going to throw at you and you love and like who you are. That's the confidence and that's that power that I'm referring to. And I think, yeah, and I think
so awesome. So where can people find you, Vanessa? I know that you've mentioned that you're the owner of Confident Women's Collective, but where can they find you? If Mace sounds like something they want to know more about, if they want to connect with you, where can they find you?
So I've got my Instagram, which is the Confident Women's Collective, and on that you'll find stacks of information about Mace and just, you know, all the changes that can occur within yourself. We don't need to be living okay with life. We have the right and we can live an epic life, whatever that is for you. And that could be just, I just want a better relationship. You know what I mean? So they can find me there. They can find me on Facebook under Vanessa Jane. I've got the Confident Women's page, Confident Women's Collective's page. And also you can find me through LinkedIn as well. So there's lots of different ways you can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, I think, you know, sharing that awareness of some of these methods that are out there. I didn't know about Mace until you'd mentioned it. You know, so spreading that awareness for anyone that might be struggling, you know, with, like you said, there's anxiety, depression, self-worth. I mean, the list is huge, right? Of all those things that we beat ourselves up on. So thank you so much for coming on today. I really, really appreciate it. And make sure you go and connect with Vanessa on all of the platforms. She is on all of them. And honestly, we wish you the best, and watching you flourish is an absolute game changer for me.
Thank you, Mal. Really appreciate your time.
See ya.
Bye.